are going to go through all the bones in the body, and we would I will go through and take them off, and it will be again your video to learn at home. So let's start then. So actually you have here two sets of names of the bones. The English common names and the Latin anatomical names. So we will come back to it. You know those two. For example, skull and cranium. The cranium are the bones around the brain, and we have the jaw, in which we have two. We have the lower jaw, called mandible, and the upper jaw, that's called maxilla. Yeah? On the back, we have the occipital bone. Yeah? Any other bone that remember that I ask you to learn here is the zygomatic bone, which is the cheekbones, and the temporal bone, which is the side here. Good. Then coming into the thorax, we have the chest bone, which is in Latin called the sternum. Good. We have the collarbone, that's called the clavicle. Good. We have the shoulder blade, that's called scapula. Good. We have the ribs. How do we call ribs? We can call it the costal. Costal jail. Yes. So costal is something to do with ribs. Yeah. Ribs 12 in here. Ribs 1 on top. Let's go on to the spine. We have the neck, which called the cervical spine, and on the top too, because they are special, we have the axis and the atlas. So the atlas is C1 and the axis is C2. The upper back called the thoracic spine, and the lower back called the lumbar spine. The sacrum, and the lower one is the coccyx. Yeah? In the upper limb, we have the arm bone that called the humerus. And how do we call this area? Forearm. Good. The forearm has the radius and the ulna. Yeah. We have the wrist, which is the carpal bone. We have the palm, which is the metacarpal, and we have the fingers, the phalanges. Around the hip, we have the spinal discs. The hip bone, also called generally the pelvic bone, and the pelvic bone has the ilium on top, the pubic in front, and the sit bone or the ischial bone on the back, or the ischium. Yeah. In the ilium, we have the edge of the ilium, which is called the iliac crest. Now, why is it important? Because there is a lot of muscle attached to the iliac crest. Yeah? Here, the spinal muscles. Thigh bone called the femur. Yeah? And the kneecap called the patella. The shin bone called the tibia, and the lateral bone called the fibula. This is the fibula. This is the tibia. In the feet, the heel bone called the calcaneus. The rest of the feet bone called the tarsal bones. And then the metatarsals, and then the phalanges, which are the toes. I think we've covered all of them. Yeah? Fantastic. I think you should have applause for you to learn quite quickly. Now, I don't expect you to know everything. I just expect you to understand that. And that's the difference between, coming back after today, going home, and, well, I don't know yet everything, assimilate it. So you will have quite more revisions of doing it. Next weekend, when you're coming, we'll do bone dissection. So you would learn it a few more times. I'm not expecting you to know, but I expect you to understand it. Okay? So let's finish the video.